Yo, what's her name? Who's that girl? La 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 la. Catch that girl. La 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 la. All right, so welcome back. Third episode, Suave and Friends. It's been a little bit longer than the last time. Sorry, I know you guys missed me. It is what it is. We have, the third guest on the show. We have Kat here. Kat, how are you doing?
How are you? How you feeling today?
You gonna leave me hanging, Kat?
How you feeling today? How you feeling today?
Good. How about you?
Feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Good. So, I told you this off the air. There was a lot of people that requested this episode exactly. I didn't say like who it was gonna be, but I said, you guys want to see an artist? I have like a few artist friends, like painters and stuff. Clothing brand owner, which was our last one, and like cam girl, dancer, exotic dancer. So, I think like most of the votes were for that, like 14, 15 votes, and then like 10, 12, whatever on the other one. So I'm glad that you're here. I think it's going to be a dope ass episode. I have a lot of questions to ask you. What do you want to get from this episode?
First of all, I'm honored for you to have me on here. Thank you very much.
Of course.
I think I would want to spread a little more positivity around the industry that I'm in, to be honest.
That brings me to our first question. When she mentions industry, whenever we're talking about the industry, I want to ask you, first of all, what industry are you talking about? Then I have a question for you.
We're talking about sex workers.
Okay. So, see, that's exactly what I want to get to. I don't want to be the first one to say like what it is or what it might be. I ask the questions and then we get the answers. So, define sex work. Because I had a lot of people who have been arguing with me prior to this episode about what sex work is. I'm like, let's let her answer it.
When we talk about sex work, anything that has to do with dancing, porn, cam girls, anything that's sexual is considered sex work. Like,
right.
That's just it.
Right. Mm-hmm. So for the person who is arguing with me, right, even if you're on camera by yourself, is that sex work?
Yeah, what the heck?
Okay, even if you're dancing in the club and you're not getting naked,
it's still sex work.
Because why?
You're back there doing a lap dance.
And it's in a sexual like intent,
yes.
Right. So I had someone that was arguing with me. They were saying, wait, so I guess modeling is sex work then, huh?
No.
And then so they even took it farther. They said, like, is modeling like swimwear or lingerie sex work?
No.
Right. Because the intent is you're modeling the clothes.
Yeah, definitely.
See, this is exactly why I wanted to have you on the episode so we can get this clear. What are some like misconceptions for your industry of that like people usually take with you?
I don't know. It has a history to it where it has brought a lot of negativity around it. I think that time has changed and it's just not what it is like before. I think humans have come a long way from that.
Right.
And obviously we're all healing from something, so it's more positivity around that.
Okay. Do you feel like you're obligated, like let's say you just meet someone, you guys are just hanging out, whatever, like just in a public space, how obligated are you to tell them like, that you do this type of work, or if at all?
To be honest, I'm real upfront when I say it. It's just because I've been in the industry for so long and I'm comfortable with telling people what I do. Sometimes they'll look at me and they'll be like, no way. And you're just telling me like that, like nothing. And it's like, I'm not ashamed of what I do. I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm making my money and paying my bills.
Do you think that's what they expect from you? Like, you find out and they're like, oh girl, you do
no, that's a common thing that I get all the time. And half the time I'm like, but it's not what you think it is. Right. And then I shine the positivity around it. And to be honest, like, they would have to step in the club to actually see what it is.
Right.
Because you'd be surprised. There's so many regulars that come in there and it's just regular to them. It's not what you think it is.
I think most people's idea of sex work is like what they see like in music videos or what they see in the movies. Like, you go to the massage parlor, you get the happy ending, or you go to the strip club and, you're gonna, take them back home and they're gonna fall in love with a stripper, T-Pain and shit.
The whole thing behind that too is state laws.
Right.
Like in Florida, each city is different. If you're working in Tampa, you don't need a license. It's fully nude, but there's no alcohol being sold for a reason because it's fully nude.
Right.
Then you come to Orlando and it's not nude. You can't even take your pasties off, but they're selling liquor.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is for everybody. I, Nico, have never been to a strip club. I just never like felt the need to go. Right. Like I'm pretty sure like I'll have a lot of fun. Obviously, like who doesn't like, seeing beautiful women, right, dancing and shit. Yeah. But I feel like I'll be one of those people like, oh, for like my next birthday type shit, I'll go with like some friends and whatever. What do you think about for people like that?
I think you should at least try it once to go and go with the right people. Like if you came with me, we'll have a fucking ball. Right. We'll have a fucking ball for the fact that I know people and I'll be like, hey, treat my homeboy right. And they will. Like they're like, all right, it's Cat's friend, let's get it. And that's just the way it goes. I
didn't even know that. So, the last couple of years I've been living in Los Angeles. Over there it's like super strict. It's just topless. And I think there's no alcohol. I might be wrong. Like I have a lot of homies who would complain about different sort of things that are happening over there. And then they always say like, oh, down south, like in Miami, it's like anything goes type shit. Yeah,
it's different. I haven't danced in Miami. I've only ran from St. Pete, Clearwater, Tampa, Orlando, Daytona, and Cocoa. So just that whole straight through. And it's always been all areas is a different vibe, 100%. The crowd is different, obviously. The money's different depending on where you're going, obviously. But from what I heard from Miami it's hard to get in, but it's also less what it is in here in Orlando. They don't
what
have
are they
that
looking
many
for?
rules.
Okay. What are they looking for in Miami that makes it so hard, or like in like Vegas and stuff that makes it so hard compared to like anywhere else that's maybe not a big?
From what I heard, Vegas, they like their girls to look specifically a certain way.
Yeah.
Skinny, petite,
blondes,
as natural as you can look. And then you go to Miami and you gotta have a big ass and you gotta have titties, and that's when girls get wrapped up about getting their bodies done. Right.
Yeah, I always see like we were talking about this off the camera. Girls that'll say things like, "Oh, it's so easy to. Oh, I wish I could do stripping for one day and just make $2,000 and pay my rent." Or, "Oh, I think it would be so easy. Like I could do it." Like, what do you think about girls who say stuff like that? Being that you're in it,
I think that is not. It's not as easy as you think it would be. I went and did that when I first started dancing, and I made my money, but obviously that comes with me being confident always. But I've had brought people into my job who has never done it before, and just for that one night to make quick money. And I warned them, and I'm like, it's like a regular job. There's slow seasons. You're not always gonna come home with more than freaking $500. Sometimes you might just make $5. To be honest, and it sucks. It really sucks.
Let me ask you, since we're on the topic, what is if you can say, what is in one night the most you've ever made, like lifetime, right? In one night, and then what is the like least you've ever made?
The most I made, and I'm not gonna say it within a time. Well, yeah, within a time frame, a song, 3 minutes. More than $1,000.
Oh, see, I was looking for a night, but you said $1,000 in 3 minutes
in one song. Yeah.
Okay, so how much like in one night?
So in one night, I would at least $400.
Okay.
And I would be happy going home with more than $300.
Okay, so that was like $1,000 one person.
That was the first time. Yeah, it was a lesbian couple actually
Wow.
that just got married. Yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
they came up to me and they were like, "Hey, we haven't gotten attended by anybody, and I can't find like nobody's coming up to us." And I'm like, "Oh, don't worry, I got you."
Right.
And they liked the vibe, and they were like, "We're spending all our money on you." And I'm like, "I'm blessed." They're like, "Pick another girl." I picked this random other white chick, and they blessed her too with like another grand. I went home that night with like more than $2,000.
Wow.
That
And
shit
what
was
city was
crazy.
this?
That was here in Orlando.
That was in Orlando?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, let's just quick shot to that. To episode 3 to $1,000 tips to lesbians. We're gonna take a shot.
Yep. That shit was crazy.
That does sound crazy.
It was
My idea
cool.
was like, what is like you know, some people think like the worst of like dancers clients, right? Like, oh, like a, you know, like a sleazeball, like a old white guy, like, you know what I mean? What is like the usual? Is that what it still is these days, or?
Yeah, some guys, we still get those guys that come in there and like just kind of act like an ass, or they're drunk, but boundaries.
Right.
It's
Right.
all about boundaries. That's one thing. The industry is not for everybody, because some people feel guilty saying no for like the littlest things. You can't be weak, and you just have to have the courage to be like, yeah, no, screw that. I don't have to do this for money. Like, screw.
Right.
I'm not that low. And some females, they can't get there, and others do, and that's when you see them either fall in or get out. You know.
Right. I want to ask you, you know, the age old question, like, you know, how'd you get into this, right? This like lifestyle or this way of work. But I do want to just like take it back a little bit before we get to that question. Like, you know, who are you? Where are you from? You know, the whole background story.
I'm from Jersey. I was born in Elizabeth, and my mom moved me and my siblings out here in 2007, and we've been here ever since.
Okay.
Both my parents are from Nicaragua.
Okay.
My mom is raised in El Salvador, which is why I was recently over there.
Pupusas.
Oh yeah, pupusas are the best.
Hey, the producers have a Salvadorian too, so
Hey.
he's Dominican too. He don't want to admit it, but he's half a Salvadorian.
But that's pretty much my background. Kind of a mutt. My mom married my stepdad when I was a toddler,
Right.
and he's Puerto Rican, so I grew up with a Puerto Rican family.
Right.
So my culture is very out there. Like,
Right.
I can talk to Colombians because I have background in that. I can talk to Puerto Ricans.
Right.
I can talk to Salvadorians. I could talk to Nicaraguenses. Like, I've been around that background for the longest.
I'm gonna say this right now, because you have glasses on right now, right? Right now, she's giving me real Selena vibes, right? With the hair, we'll do anything for Selena's, right? But can we take the glasses off right now? She's gonna go from Selena to Suki, all right? You would never know. I feel like you have a very ambiguous like look to you. Like, do people always try to guess like where you're from?
Yeah.
What do people
they
guess the
always
most?
Guessed wrong. They ask me if I'm Venezuelan or if I'm Colombian.
People go straight to Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see.
I mean, when I was younger, they'd be like, "You look like you're China. Like, you
Yeah.
have that be China," and I'm like, I have chinky eyes. It
Right.
runs in my family, but no, for the most part, they'll just guess. They'll guess it wrong all the time. You won't never guess it from
Right.
Nicaraguan. Like, never.
I just started learning about South American. I just started learning about South American folks, like, you know, living on the West Coast. There's so many, like Salvadorians, Venezuelans, you know, a lot of Mexican, of course. So like I see folks and like girls who like have the same like complexion, or, you know, they'll like lean really like Asian looking. It's either they lean really Asian looking or they lean really Mexican. You know what I mean? Like, it's, and when in South America, it's like either one way. Like,
no, that's facts. Cause I get that a lot. They're like, "You don't look Mexican though," and I'm like, we don't all look Mexican, or like, sure, or
Right.
you know. But I think someone in my family did hook up with, you know, either Chino or Filipino,
Right.
because some of my cousins do have chinkier eyes too.
right. I mean, with my track record, you know, Filipinos just how can I say, I love them and I hate them. But you know, that's just with my track record. You know, there are a lot of there's more good than bad. Let's just say that. When bad, I mean just literally one girl. But anyways, let's not talk about that. I want to talk about so you grew up in New Jersey. You have some Puerto Rican upbringing along with the other stuff. You know, you get these questions about your ambiguity. How did you get from? Tell me like the startup of how'd you get into the sex industry, right?
So when I had moved to Tennessee with my ex, we're struggling a little bit, and I always did think about it, and he was never had an issue with it.
How old were you then?
I think I was 20 by then.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was full nude when I did start.
In Tennessee?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was full nude. It was a club borderline Tennessee and then Kentucky. Like, you cross the street and you're in Kentucky.
Oh, so there was probably some honky tonks over there.
Oh, you have no idea. But
they came in on a tractor.
There was a military base right in front of the club that I worked at, and I automatically knew when they were getting paid. So they were getting paid the 1st and the 15th.
Wow.
And I also knew, because my ex at the time would keep me updated and tell me, oh, this company just came back from training, or this company just came back from being drafted, out there. So they've been stacking money. They're going to come out here and they're going to blow money,
That's crazy.
The club that I worked at was only opened from Thursdays to Wednesdays.
Right.
And they closed the rest, and they weren't open daytime.
Right.
So those 4 days that I worked there, I was going home with more than $800 at least each night.
Jesus
I was banking.
Christ.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And this is literally middle of Kentucky, and what was it?
And
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Borderline.
Wow.
I at that time when I first started, I did make a lot of money. Going nude was crazy, but
wait, so nude was your first experience?
Yeah, going.
Oh
nude.
wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So now that you've obviously you said you were 20 then, all these years now, how do you feel about going nude?
Going nude. I haven't gone nude since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why's that?
It's just different. The money isn't what it used to be back then. Obviously, we went through like
right.
like
Yeah.
But I've noticed I make the same.
Yeah, and you don't have to do that, right?
Yeah, and I have to do that.
Do you think that it's going off that? Do you feel like it might be like why do you what is the obviously if you don't have to do it and you can still make the money you don't, but what is like the reasoning, right? Like is it just a personal reason? Do you think there's some girls who like to just go nude?
I think that some girls don't mind going nude. Like that's perfectly okay. Like that's cool, but hey man, if I can just like not be out in the open in the air naked all the time,
right?
Why am I gonna do it?
So you were 20 when you started the dancing.
When I started dancing,
yeah. In Tennessee, Kentucky, and then after Tennessee, Kentucky, where'd you go to next? Because I know you said you've been to a few cities.
So I took a break.
Okay.
I took a good break and I came back to Orlando.
Right.
And when I became single, I always said that if I was gonna be single, I was gonna go back to dancing.
Okay.
And I did.
So how many year break? So from 20.
So that was 20. I didn't get back to dancing until 2018, maybe 4 years.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Big break.
2014, 2016.
You know what they say about dancing? It's like riding a bike. You just have to get back on it and do it, right?
Yeah.
How was that first night back for you?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I felt like I missed something.
Yeah.
And it was just the first time I made my money. I was like, wow, this is amazing. But then when I got back in and I knew what I was doing, and I was just booming.
Right.
Like, it is what it is.
It's not like you forget how to. That's something I want to say.
It gets rusty. Don't get me wrong. If you are in it, I mean, like during the pandemic, I got a little rusty.
How much is athleticism a part of your job?
A lot.
Yeah.
Most of it.
But then, so I feel like, not to say like bigger women can't be dancers too,
can.
but I feel like for maybe the athleticism for them has to be like
Oh
much
no.
higher, or is it a skill, or is it like
It's a skill that you can learn and anybody can learn. I
right,
see some big girls get
right,
up on that pole and do some crazy
right?
stuff.
Hey, so if you're a thick girl,
Yeah, don't be
if you're a
scared.
thick girl, if you're a thick girl, if you're a thick girl,
Don't be scared. There's men that love big girls. That's all I'm saying. You'll
right,
make bread. Like I seen girls who are huge. I seen girls who are like short and petite and big. I seen girls who are Amazon huge and
Meg Thee Stallion, Wonder Woman.
yeah, literally like
Wow.
just tall girls that would sit on short guys' laps, and I'm like, yo,
There's something for everyone, honestly.
Yeah, that's.
I feel there's something and someone for everyone.
Yeah, you know, you don't always want to see fake booty and ass. Not all
Right.
guys like that.
Right.
Some guys like that natural stuff.
Right. You know, we love all shapes and sizes. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? We love all shapes and
definitely.
sizes here at Suave and Friends. You know, everybody gets catered to. Everybody gets appreciated here. So, just to put that out there. But that is always a question of mine. I have a friend who, you know, she's on the plus size, and you know, she was always saying like, oh, like I wish they had places that were like in Houston and stuff like that, where
Houston does have places like that.
whole, not even just one night. It's like whole strip clubs where through the whole week that's how it is.
That's dope.
Yeah, so that's cool. What do you think about so have you ever like tried out for those bigger markets like Las Vegas or
I haven't,
Miami's?
So I haven't traveled out to the West Side. I've never been to the West Side.
Okay.
And I haven't gone to Miami for the fact that I would have to take off, like go down, I would do clear my schedule because I do have my son and I do have school going on, so that has to be planned.
Right.
On top, I don't want to go by myself, and I would have to find somebody to come with me.
Exactly. That's. I'm glad that you mentioned that too, because that leads me into another question I had. Working in this industry and like having a family or having a dating life, tell me a little bit about that, because a lot of people expect like you have to be single all the time, you have to be like hoeing around and shit like that, like you can't have a
life.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like what do you think about that?
I mean, obviously every girl that is in the industry does have a life. They might be moms, they're somebody's wife, they're somebody's girl. You just gotta be mindful about it,
right?
Because we're not all just thinking about sex. We're not even thinking about it. We come to work, make our money, and leave.
And I know you said you were with someone when you started stripping, so obviously they were okay with it, right? Through the whole way?
Yeah, through the whole time and I took my break and stuff like that.
Right.
But obviously I was with that person for a while.
Yeah. Do you think that like when you meet someone and let's say if you really like someone and then they like might not be like cool with it, is that like a deal breaker for you, or
yeah, it could be a deal breaker for me, because if they ask me to stop working, you're basically telling me that I can't
make my money.
And dating is hard when you're dating somebody in the industry, for the fact that they have to be confident in dating me. I don't have to pull. I know who I am. I'm not somebody who fucks around in the club. I don't even get to know people. It took people like 2 years to know that I even had a kid.
Wow.
Because I don't personally get, this work. And I do. And the people that I've met, they're amazing. But when it comes to dating, some people, they'll see you in a different light.
Yeah.
And they'll assume certain things. And it's like, I'm not actually like that. So I'm that person that proves it. And then they're like, wow, like you're showing that it's not really like that. I'm that example, I guess,
Do you think a time will ever come where you would put like dating this perfect guy you met or whatever over that? Like I know you said it's the whole money part, right? Do you think that let's say if like you meet a guy and he's like, oh, like I'll take care of everything for you type shit?
No.
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 That's good. I think that's a good answer. Mainly because I think a lot of people just assume like they have this fantasy of, let me get you out of this place.
Yeah,
Let me be your savior.
there's a lot of guys who would come in there and try to save me, and they'll be like, "You could do so much better than
Right.
this. You're
What
too
are you
pretty
doing
to
in
do
here?
this. What are you doing here?" And my thing is, I know what I'm doing here.
Right.
I'm making my money and building my empire.
Right.
I might not be in your way and how you're seeing it, but I don't need saving. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, I've dated guys who've had tell me to stop, and it's only gotten me into shits.
Yeah.
So after that, I was just like, no. I pause on dating, and if I am talking to somebody that I might like, I'm upfront and I let them know what's going on,
Right.
and what's my plan.
Yeah.
And you either can stick around for it or you don't, but doesn't bother me being single. You know, I'm making
Right.
my money. I'm spoiling myself.
Exactly.
I'm building my own empire. My kid is fine. I'm not bothered.
So for everybody who's watching this, do not hit her DMs unless you are okay with what she's doing. Do not stop this train, because this train is not stopping. All right, let's just keep it right at that.
Facts.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, well, guys, right? A lot of guys have this like savior complex, you know, especially if you're making a little bit of money, right? And a guy will think like, oh, like you said, like, oh, we can come take you out of this place. Like, why are you here? Why are you in this place? Like, it's something that you're like it was your last option. Like, you don't have other things that you can do, right? Like
the last option part. Yeah, that's
Right.
how they say it. And I'm like, no, I just know that I could move quicker
Right.
here, and I am mentally strong enough to work the system. Like,
Exactly.
don't get it wrong. I'm moving a lot behind all that.
Yeah.
What I post on social media, OnlyFans, all up the front, but I'm investing behind doors and
Right.
doing my own shit.
What that kind of leads me into some other questions here before we get out of the dancing part. What do you think? Where does this end for you? Right, like, are you gonna be dancing to your 80? Are you, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
wish.
if you got the Megan Thee Stallion knees, you could probably do it. But you know, ideally, like, what is the lifespan of like the type of dancing that you do?
As right now, I'm just investing it into school, and once I'm settled in with everything,
Right.
that I'm like, okay, I'm good on that, because at this moment, all of us gotta have more than one,
Right.
2, 3 incomes coming in.
So we have a lot of misconception about full specialist. A lot of people were saying, like, what does that mean? She's a full specialist dancer. She's a full
I'm
specialist OF creator. What does that even mean?
It has nothing to do with the sex industry.
I'm an idiot. I should just put business owner. I'm an idiot, y'all. Sorry. Sorry for that.
Full specialist is when you're in for a esthetician and a nail tech.
Right.
You do both of them.
I feel like I should have put full specialist, parentheses,
Yeah.
esthetician, nail specialist.
Yeah.
Something like that, yo. I'm an idiot, y'all.
Yeah, I specialize in facials now, and I am on my way to be a nail tech, which is the main goal. To be
Clap
a
it
nail
up.
tech.
Let's clap it up. Remember, we give it up for certificates. We give it up for certificates.
Yeah.
We give it up for
License.
licenses. We give it up for graduations. We give it up for everything. You know what I mean? Any sort of certificate. Look, one more time. You know what? We appreciate anyone who's trying to better themselves on this podcast. You know, anybody who's trying to like move up in life, and you know, anybody who has different avenues and stuff. You know, they always say millionaires have 6 or 10 different incomes, something like that. They have more than one, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? So nobody starts just nobody becomes a millionaire working a 9 to 5.
Hell no.
Right? There has to be stuff
I
outside
feel
of
like
it.
there's the millionaires are breaking the most rules.
Right.
They're looking at every kind of income that you can have, and anything is good income, to be honest.
Right.
If you're having income coming in, it's good.
Right. I starting to get into like other streams of income. I'm gonna start doing merch soon. So y'all just heard it here. I'm gonna start doing merch soon. Shirts and hats coming very soon. Probably gonna be on the next episode, which I'll talk a little bit more later on. I'm like looking at the numbers, like, okay, like if I get this shirt for,
It's gonna be so dope.
yeah, right. If I get this shirt, these amount of shirts
Yeah.
for this much, and then that means there's this much a shirt, and then I have to sell it for this much, and then make this
Yeah.
much back, and
But
it's
people
exciting.
People are gonna buy stuff.
I think
don't
so.
know. I think we're that generation that we're so like about helping other people,
Right.
and like just the small businesses, because fuck corporate, bro.
Yo, for
Fuck
real.
corporate America.
Yeah, I mean, if my job is watching this, I'm not talking about you, but other corporate America, please. Like, I love my job, but yeah, no, fuck corporate America. I think that it's come to the point where it's like people are old, like rich people are seeing like 12-year-old, 16-year-old, 18-year-old, 20-year-old, like young people on YouTube making
money,
millions of dollars, like opening presents and shit
it's
like that.
It's just easy. There's just too much money in this world for you to be broke.
Right.
To be honest.
What do you think about last question and we'll get off the dancing. What do you think about, like, is there any competition in the dance world? Because like you said,
there is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition.
Like you said, money basically grows on trees,
Money's
right?
everywhere, but there is competition everywhere. You just got to be confident.
Right.
You got to be confident and not worried about what the next chick is making, because it only takes one person to come in and they like you, and you don't even know they got a black card to spend $100 on you. Do you go in
the club and just automatically, like, what is your mindset going in? Like, oh, like, I'm the baddest bitch here. I'm gonna.
I go in there and I'm like, I'm leaving today with $600. I don't care what nobody says.
Let's go.
That's it. You just gotta manifest it. You just get in there. I'll say this: if you're broke and you're stressing to pay your bills, and you're coming into work stressing, you're not gonna make money.
Right.
We can sense the energy that you're desperate.
Right.
Not a good look.
What? Kind of getting off of the topic and of dancing and kind of staying within the realm of sex work. Different streams of income. You also do like cam work, OnlyFans stuff. We're in the presence right now of a top 13%er. You know what I mean? Hey. How did you get into that?
So when I first started OnlyFans, it was a little bit right after the pandemic.
Yeah, like anyone else. Not anyone else, but like a lot of women.
Yeah. Obviously, I don't know how I honestly survived during the pandemic because the clubs closed and I just had money stacked up.
Right.
But I managed to survive even though all the clubs closed.
Right.
And as dancers, you don't see what we're making, so we didn't get stimulus checks or anything like that.
Right.
We didn't get unemployment, so all that was dismissed from us. Because
how does that work? Do you have, when you go to a circle, do you have to file like a W-2 form or like an I-9?
When here in Orlando, you have to go get a license, a business license.
You as a solo dancer?
Yeah, have to go get a business license to whatever club you're gonna go at, and each club needs its own license.
So you can't just go around
in Orlando. You can't just go around and get and work wherever you want. You have to get a license.
In those other, like in Kentucky, Tennessee, was that how it was?
In Kentucky and Tennessee, the first club I worked at, I did have to get a license, and that license cost me about $350.
So it's not even like, going back to what we were talking about, girls who are saying, oh, I can do it. Sometimes you can't.
You're not going to be able to. Unless, that's why a lot of girls travel to Tampa or Clearwater or Daytona or Cocoa or Miami, because those are areas that you don't need a license.
Just any girl can just show up and
it all
dance.
Depends on the state and their laws, to be honest. Right. Because you can't do that in Orlando. You can't just go in there and like, I'm working tonight. You're not.
Is Orlando like the end all be all for you?
I think Orlando. What do you mean?
So I guess in a more general sense, but and also dancing aspect, like, are you going to be dancing in Orlando forever? Do you have like aspirations to go to a bigger market?
I think I'll be sticking to what I've been doing in Orlando. I won't be traveling out and dancing for the fact that I'm already on my next journey. Right. And I'm almost coming to an end to that journey.
Do you think that once because you say you're going to school for the esthetician full specialist, is that like you're out? Or do you think you'll maybe do both?
My beginning, of just another source of income.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's cool. I think, I don't put it past anybody. Work is work. If you're working at McDonald's, that's work. If you're working in a club, that's work. Mm-hmm. If honestly, if you're selling drugs, that's work. You do what you got to do, right, at the end of the day. But anybody who's like getting off their ass and trying to
doing
make something better.
At least
Right.
doing something from the south, because it's just like I said, there's money out here to be made.
Right.
There's money everywhere.
Right. People have money. People want to spend money, and you just got to come up with ways on how you're gonna get people to spend the money with you. They're gonna spend it either way. You know, whether it's at Wendy's or it's buying, a new fucking Mac laptop. You know what I mean?
People like spending money. That's all I learned.
Right. So going back to the cam work. Yeah. Let's take another shot. With the producer. So going back to the cam work stuff, how did you exactly get into it? Is right after or right during the pandemic?
So I'm not gonna lie, never say never, because I did talk smack and was like, nah, I could never. And if I was, it was gonna be expensive.
Right. Right.
And what happened was I also didn't have the audience on social media for me to want to do it.
Okay.
I didn't have that many followers, and I didn't think I don't know. I just was like, nah, not yet.
Do you think it's necessary to be successful in that world, like selling photos or videos?
You gotta
like the people that you how necessary was it that the people that you already follow you to know that you do this? Because that's like a easy whatever at least 1,000 people that you can get it to. People who are already liking your stuff before they found out that they could also see you naked or whatever.
I mean, when people ask me, they're like, yo, where do you promote your OnlyFans? And I'm like, on my Instagram. They're like, who are your main followers? And I'm like, people who I went to high school with.
Right. Right.
People who've been curious about me since high school and they haven't gotten that chance. Sounds terrible, but
it is what it is.
Those are true fans.
How long did it take you to get from that small shell of those people who follow you already to now it's getting to a point where these are people who you
Random
don't know?
People.
Yeah.
Well, it all starts with the video that went viral on Warsaw.
Okay, what was that?
The chick breaking the glass on the door. I don't know if you guys seen it, but
yeah, I remember that one. You showed me this off the air. It was like a
little hammer, a glass, a tip. The hammer was specifically
Mario
made for
size.
that. Yeah, a little hammer that is easily able to break a glass.
We're gonna put it right here. It's gonna be over while we're talking. I'm gonna make sure to make a note to have it in the video. But so you went viral with that, and then you got.
Once I started getting more than 400 followers, then I was like, all right, now it's time to make an OnlyFans, because now I have more than what I thought. And
right.
Never thought about it, but I was like, screw it. Now is the moment. And when I did, people were like, heck yeah.
What kind of content do you post? Because I know it's a wide, you can, girls who only post their feet to whole porn scenes.
All the good stuff, all the exclusive stuff. Yeah.
So solo.
Most of my stuff is solo for the fact that I haven't found somebody that would be comfortable on camera.
Right.
And it doesn't bother me because I wouldn't want them to be like, hey, let me have half of that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm okay with completely solo. But if I ever did find that guy, hey. Hey, yo.
If anybody feels comfortable on camera and you are a professional, you must come with a resume. We are not taking no Joe Schmoes off the street. You know what I mean? There is a application. Just go ahead and hit the email, suaveandfriends@gmail.com. Please do not send any nudes. All right? I'm going to be seeing these applications. Please do not send any nudes. With that being said, I wanted to ask, because I know kind of how OnlyFans works, right? So you pay a subscription to get to the page, or sometimes they're free, but then maybe some posts you see, and then some posts is you have to unlock, or.
So it all depends on how you have it set up. So I have my subscription set up to, you got to subscribe first.
Right.
Then when you subscribe,
you got to pay to play with Kat.
I post on my wall a couple good stuff. Little tease, know, the good stuff, but I send a max text to everybody, and it would be an exclusive video that you would have to pay for to unlock.
What's the most you've ever made on one post? We just saw Bad Baby with $50 million.
Yeah, she's banking.
Jesus Christ! From I think from April to April of last year.
Yeah, she's
$50 million.
I think the most expensive continent would at least go for 70.
Right, but on like, because I know on one post you can get like tips and stuff, or maybe like on one massive text share, like how many people bought that $50-$60 video?
It would be like at least 4 or 5.
Wow. So
Not
off of one
that-
post you
yeah.
make like $200-$300. That's crazy.
So I am one of the most expensive models, I have been told.
Right.
But it's like, I know people who would pay for it.
Right.
So I don't care.
I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. I have no problem with you being one of the most expensive models, because I hate whenever you see a girl. I'm gonna see it right here in the camera. I hate whenever I see a girl whose subscription is less than Netflix.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me?
Yeah.
You mean to goddamn tell me that you selling that thing for less than Tom Cruise movies?
Yeah, at least you gotta
What?
All I'm saying, like, so that's how I see it.
Right.
You can subscribe to Netflix or Hulu.
Right here, give it right here.
Those small subscriptions are like $7.99. You gonna tell me that you can't subscribe for something that's $12.99?
For real. Yeah, no. God, I anytime I see that, it is what it is. Like any business, you're trying to sell. You do what it is. You lower prices, raise prices. You do deals and stuff.
It fluctuates, obviously, definitely.
Right.
And I make it work with what's going on. Tax season's coming up, so guess what?
Yeah.
Discount's coming off.
You'll get a 50%. Use the discount code. Hey, use the discount code Suave and Friends. Get 50% off of Cat's OnlyFans. I think that it's funny. It's kind of goes into that same thing we were saying before, where girls is like, yeah, I could do OnlyFans and I can get on, and then a month later you say, hey guys, $3.99 to come see everything.
It's not as it could, like I said, there's slow seasons,
right?
But don't sell yourself short, dude,
right?
Because there's people who would pay for it,
right?
But that also comes with the thing that you have to also put in the work,
right?
To advertise yourself,
right?
Because if you don't, you're not. If you gotta be active. If you're not active, you're not gonna make what you think you're gonna make.
Yeah, no, exactly. I have I've spoke with like a few other girls who are in the industry, like since posting like that we're going to be doing this episode, and of course, like I know a lot of girls who do it outside of this episode or whatever. But I've had a lot of girls who say things like, you should ask her this, you should ask her that, and I feel like every time that they're asking me this question, it's coming from their own experience. Like they're asking it in a way where it's like, oh, because this happened to me. Like you should ask her like this negative thing where maybe you never experienced it, or maybe you did, but you didn't take it in this certain way.
Like what?
Be real. Yeah, no, I can't. I'm honest. I'm not even gassing myself right now. I can't really remember the exact things, but like just that context of like, because my experience was bad. Like now I shun every single dancer. I shun every single sex worker.
It's not like that. I mean, I had a friend who started OnlyFans before me,
right?
And the way she was like plotting it out to make it look like, she kept telling me make mine's free, and I'm like, I'm in the sex industry. Why am I gonna make it free?
Right.
Ain't nothing here free,
right.
Baby girl. So I went off based off the vision that I had in my mind, and I have a vision board, and
right.
I'm setting out the times of how long my videos are and how much I'm gonna sell it,
right?
And if it's gonna go on discount. It's just, I don't know, maybe it might be just me who's just programmed like that.
Yeah,
but I have like the math just comes in and I'm like, okay, this is how I want to make it.
Do you think the dancing helps the cam world?
Yeah, because if I meet somebody and they're like, hey, like what's a way that I can get in touch with you, I can give you my social media. And
Right.
when they see my social media, like, wow, you got OnlyFans?
Right.
And I'm like, I do. You can subscribe if you want.
Does it ever work the other way around? Like maybe
they asked
a girl
on
like
OnlyFans
and
if
then
they
you
wanna
see at the
me.
club.
Yeah.
Wow, that's genius. That
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That's like either which way is like whenever you post content, right? The main goal of posting content is or like advertisements on the internet is you want to make sure that the user can click and get to whatever you're selling fast. So the fact that each way it works, like you can dance, you know, they want to start talking to you, you tell them, hey, look, I got an OnlyFans.
So my way is OnlyFans is like the first little bit of what you can see of me, and then if they want a link, you can come to my job.
Right.
You know, you
right.
can come to my job, and that's where it ends. You know.
Right.
But for the most part, no, I don't have people who are like, yeah, I'll come see you at your job. They don't have an issue with it. They'll come. Like,
right.
They'll literally be like, hell yeah, you know.
Do you think the OnlyFans wave from outside looking in? I feel like the OnlyFans wave was definitely like higher than it is right now, like today. But do you think that what do you think about that?
What do you mean?
So I feel like
more girls are using it more.
I feel like more girls I feel like more girls are using it less now. I feel like more girls were using it during peak pandemic.
Peak, definitely, because that's how everybody started booming, and a lot of sex workers, a lot of girls who were bottle girls.
Girls have quit also. Like I know girls who have already stopped doing it.
Yeah, a lot of girls who were bottle girls and worked downtown. That all that shut down. They ran to OnlyFans, but I didn't I didn't get into OnlyFans until the hype cool down.
Right.
And that's where I was like, bro, I have no idea. Like, you
so
know?
March 2020 was like the start of the pandemic. Where in that span did you start?
After we started opening.
Oh, so well
after we started opening.
I don't know.
Literally.
I was in LA where it was like shut down. You go outside your house. How was it here? Or here in Orlando. We're in RPL Studios, by the way. So, shout out Richie Ray. Shout out Rich Show. We in RPL Studios. But how was it here in Orlando?
When we first started opening up, our club was like, hey, we're open. So I worked at the La Palace at the time.
Okay.
And
that sounds familiar.
La Palace. That's like the main one that everybody was working at.
The main one I know about is Diamond Club.
Okay, that's because we went to school right around there.
Our high school was
right
literally on the corner next to a strip club.
So La Palace is on OBT on the strip where all the other clubs are. But La Palace is the main strip club that makes the most money. That everybody literally. But there's like regular girls in there.
Yeah.
You know, like they come in there. That's their home.
What is Dancers?
Dancers
Royale, right?
Yeah, that's over by
Colonial.
I don't know if you know where the hot dog stand is. Right there.
Next to it.
Yeah.
But in comparison to, like you're saying, so La Palace is the best. You kind of just brushed off Diamond Club. Where does Dancers fall in that? Because those are the only two I know.
In between, kind of.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, I don't know who owns La Palace, but La Palace is one of the main clubs that makes the most money, and it's always active.
Right.
But to get into that club, you have to get hired and work daytime, and then they'll see if you could do nighttime.
How is daytime? I don't see.
Daytime is not too bad.
Do a lot of people come in during the day?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've come to the strip club during the day.
You know, yeah, that's true. You know, I think that I'm leaning into that mode where we were just talking about where people are thinking like, oh, like who would go to a strip club during the day? But people do.
Yeah, people do go. I mean,
shame on me for thinking that.
Okay, so if you went to Rachel's,
right,
and they serve dinner there,
right,
and let me tell you, they got the best steak ever.
I need to go. Actually, we have a friend in mutual. He had a shout out on this before. Shout out my dog, Junior. That's my fucking guy.
Yeah, I know we were supposed to go there.
He goes to Rachel's all the goddamn time.
Religiously.
And you know, it's funny because whatever, he'll make a comment about the girls, but it's literally for the steak. He says the steak is that good.
It's good. Literally, their wings are good. The calamari is good. They just got good food. I'm
gonna have to go there.
I need to see fucking ass, pussy, and like have.
You know what? That's calamari. What we'll do. Since Junior's been begging me to go with him, Junior will come.
Oh,
you'll come, and we'll go to. That's gonna be dope. We'll make an episode out of it. As much as they'll let us film, in there we'll film, but we'll make a whole episode of it. That'd be dope. I have an eats program coming up too, so I think that'd be fire. Dope. Strip club eats.
Yeah.
What's the best strip club food you had? Well, do you
Yeah.
eat?
Yeah, I do eat.
Do you eat at all? No, but like, do you eat nights that you're there?
No,
Like at the end of the night?
no. When I worked at Rachel's, I wouldn't eat their food. I go to the gym, so I have like my meal planned out.
So you worked at Rachel's too?
I did.
Okay, what is the difference between working at? So Rachel's, for people who don't know, Rachel's is like
It's more of a gentleman's club.
Yeah, it's like a restaurant,
It's a
sort
restaurant
of.
slash gentleman club that they focus more on. Like it's not like a strip club.
So
like,
what is the difference between a gentleman's club and a strip club?
The difference between a gentleman's club and a strip club is if you walk into Rachel's, it's more chill. You're more like you talk to a person. You're able to talk to the person and get to know them.
Right.
And like that. You go to La Palace, you're twerking on a person.
Yeah.
You're just twerking. They put the music so loud on purpose, so there's no conversation and there's just money being thrown.
That's actually a smart ass tactic to protect the women there. Yeah. There's our producer saying, Richie, our producer saying there's a gun underneath above everybody.
Nah, yeah, for real. That's what La Palace is like.
The little money ship.
Yeah. So that's why I like going going back and forth with certain club vibes because not all clubs are the same. If I go to Rachel's, I'm gonna talk to an old man that doesn't want to be around loud music and like aggressive women. And La Palace is aggressive women. They won't even ask you what's your name. They just gonna twerk on your dick.
Look, man, he just wants that old man. He just had a rough day. You know, he's collecting his 401k.
Yeah.
He just wants a T-bone steak and some breasts. Is that wrong? Is that wrong at the end of the day for a man? You know, he loves Trump. He's a Floridian. You know what I mean? He wants to make America great again. All right, that's all it is.
It's not an issue. I mean, I don't think I ever had an issue with a customer or a racist customer at that either.
Oh, that's a good. What's the worst customer you've ever had?
I think Rachel's has given me kind of like white dudes in there kind of being racist.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that,
what do they say to you though?
They don't. It's just. They don't do nothing. They just sit on my stage set and not tip me and just like conversate with their friends.
But then you notice like Becky rolls up and
then they'll be like, hell yeah. And I'm just like, oh God, here we go.
Let me ask you, and I want to be real with this. Do you think that there's a line where maybe their preference may not be you. Maybe their preference is Pamela Anderson. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. But I could sense it for the fact that I'm not really sometimes not a preference.
Right.
Like they're like, wow, like you're cool. I could sense your vibe. I think your vibe is cool. So when it does happen, I'm like, wow, I've never had that happen to me.
Yeah.
And I do take in that consideration that, hey, I'm not that. I'm not that person, but I'm humble enough to do that. And then I just sense it, you know, it's just known. And at that time, I brush it off and it is what it is. Hey, homegirl. Get that money.
Right. Hey, I give it to anyone who's in that sort of industry, whether it be, OnlyFans, whether it be, dancing, whether it be girls who do like meetup type shits or anything like that. You know, I feel like who am I, or who is the next man or woman to just like say anything, right. Like they're probably doing a lot of shit in their personal life that's probably worse or, in their set of morals.
Yeah, that they don't, everybody got different
morals, I don't think it's bad that I do this and that, but I think this is horrible.
Yeah.
Whereas you might think it's bad. I think that kind of getting out of like the sex industry work or sex work industry, kind of getting into more like today things, I do want to ask you some fun stuff too. So here's a set of questions. I'm very knowledgeable on makeup, right? I ask every pretty girl who wears makeup this question, right? So here's a set of questions. You got to answer it fast.
Right.
You can't think about it.
God damn it.
Favorite makeup store?
Sure. I don't really shop for makeup, to be honest.
Sephora, Mac Ulta.
I just went to Sephora yesterday.
Sephora, okay. What lips do you usually use?
I use lip gloss from Walmart.
Walmart, okay. Walmart lip gloss, ain't nothing wrong with that. Drugstore
lip gloss.
Drugstore cosmetics is okay.
It is okay for your lips.
What do you use for highlight? Do you use highlight?
Yeah, Door.
Door? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you use for
Foundation.
foundation?
I
Yes.
just bought the Fenty foundation from Rihanna.
Ooh,
It's a 10.
Fenty.
And to be honest, get that shit.
Yeah, I heard Fenty's really good.
I just got it, and my best friend who went with me yesterday, Jasmine, and she was like, "Get that."
It's a family episode. We just shouted out all the family today.
She's like, "Yeah, Junior and Jasmine."
Shout out
Get
Junior
that.
and Jasmine.
Like,
Family episode.
It's gonna look amazing, and she also is an esthetician and a nurse, and she works at Kiva downtown.
Woo! It's gonna be on here. It's gonna be on here.
Yeah, we'll put that
somewhere
in
around
there.
here. Somewhere. Okay, so we got that. Some of your favorite palettes.
I don't wear eyeshadows. I don't have palettes. Yeah.
No.
Most of my makeup is natural, so you won't really tell if I'm wearing makeup or not.
Okay.
I wear eyeliner. I used to get my lashes done, but I am taking a year break from my lashes.
Is there a specific eyeliner that you use, like just any regular pen?
No, just any literally fine pen that can make it look good. I kept it natural today though.
Final question for the makeup quiz. Mm-hmm. What is the most you ever spent on one haul?
Shit, yesterday, $100.
100? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you, Kat. You kind of
$100.
scored low on this one.
It is. I have other stuff to spend.
That's
money
good.
on.
That's
Yeah.
good. I think that's good. We here at Suave and Friends, we always rep for all natural, but we are okay with girls who wear makeup. We love girls who wear makeup. We love girls who get their nails done.
Yeah,
look, I don't know if y'all can see.
If it makes you.
Yeah, we love big girls.
If it makes you feel good, do it. Fuck what these niggas say. Get your lashes done. Man, get your lips done. Do whatever you want to do.
Yes. and if we can look in this camera right here, look at these nails she got. I call these the Cinderella nails. These are the Cinderella nails. She got the get home before midnight before you turn into an onion. However, we left off on Elon Musk, right? So buying Twitter. I know we kind of said that you don't use Twitter. I don't use Twitter either. How do you feel about that? Someone spending $42 billion to buy a website.
Hey man, I mean, so far, dude's been making bread. Yeah. And I recently, when I came back from my trip from El Salvador, my Uber driver, he was like, "Did you see that he just bought Twitter?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, don't you think him and Donald Trump should be business partners? And I was like,
make America energy again.
I was like, there's going to be a lot of ego shit going on between them. But I'm pretty sure if both of them was to, working together some bullshit, there's going to be a lot of money. Those are two good business people. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like they're gonna bring Trump back on Twitter with Elon Musk purchasing Twitter. He wants to make it like more free speech, even if people who are far right and people who are far left, like we need to have everybody's opinions. And I feel like now that he bought it, they're gonna it's gonna be a grand comeback. So? It's gonna be like battle royale, like WWF. He's gonna come out. Trump is gonna be running into the stage.
I mean, low key, I miss Trump's stupid ass comments. Like he was saying some dumbass shit, but he was.
Even if I don't agree with him politically, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure that he does have some points that maybe I do agree with, right?
Good points.
But I feel like for the most part, right, even if I don't agree with what he does, he's still entertaining. Like
he was entertaining. I mean, he was a movie actor.
He was you're fired. That guy, The Apprentice or whatever.
He was in Little Rascals.
And Home Alone 2.
He was.
Yeah, which is the best for the record, the best Home Alone movie. I want to ask you this real quick, which is funny because they're in New York. Have you ever been in New York?
No, I mean, I've been to New York many times.
As an adult?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did the tourist stuff. Because I lived there. My mom always took me there for Christmas. And we always saw the tree going up. Ooh. We did the walk. We did the walk to Chinatown. We did all that.
Favorite thing to do in New York?
Oh, just walking around.
Favorite cuisine to eat in New York, or what is your favorite
the pizza
food
and
spot?
Chinese food.
So good, right? Anytime I can get pizza there, even if I'm honestly, I be eating. If I go somewhere, all I do is smoke and eat when I travel. So over there, between meals, I'm eating pizza.
When I last went to New York, I took my son for his fifth birthday, and he rode his first train from Jersey to New York. So that was dope. Like, he got to have his boy experience being on a train. And we got there and we did the tourist stuff.
I bet the buildings were like just huge to him.
Yeah, yeah. So it was super cool because he always sees New York City
Right.
on movies.
Right.
And like you know, main movies,
right.
like King Kong or something. He's like,
right.
Is that New York City?
Is this a place that gets destroyed in every movie?
Yeah. He says all the time. So I'm like, yeah, it is, but it's not destroyed. But
right.
The crazy part, he'll be like, this is where the two big buildings are. And I'm like, yeah, but those are gone.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, but
even 5
gone.
years old, he knows about that.
Because he sees movies.
Right. Old movies, yeah. Like Die Hard and shit has it still there.
Well, I'll be putting him onto the old Ninja Turtle movies.
Oh, yes, yes. See, I feel like this generation is... And I feel like it's good to have, you know, our children, and like I don't have any kids, but I take care of my nephew, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's 7, about to turn 8, and I feel like it's really good. Like at his age, I was not traveling. At his age, I was moving.
And he's traveling?
He's been to Texas.
Yeah,
he's been to
he's
been to rodeos.
He's been more places than where we've been.
Exactly. And I feel that's good. I feel like that's our job as you know, our parents back then, right, when they were our age, didn't have the access to do a lot of stuff that we can do now. Right. So I feel like now that we're our parents' age back then, it's like, yo, we got access to do all this shit.
For the most part, because, I mean, my mom was an immigrant, so we couldn't do much or travel much.
Right.
So I have that privilege. I'm firstborn in the States from my family.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm firstborn out of my siblings because my older brother was born in El Salvador.
Okay.
But I have the privilege to be able to go to school and like do this and that without a care, and I get to show my kid doing that. And like I'm like, yo, he's been to more places than me. He's been to Colombia, he's been to Cuba, he's been you know, like
he's well traveled.
Yeah,
his passport got a lot of stamps in it.
Yeah, he got more stamps than me currently, and I'm like, yo, what the heck, you know?
Look, I want to say this in wrapping here. You know, I'm glad that we're talking about New York. Our next episode is gonna be in New York. I just want to say this. You know, I want to give a big thank you. Everybody clap it up for Kat. Everybody clap it up for Kat. Thank you so much, Kat. Kat, this is my 3rd episode. My last series was 3 episodes, so this one I had to make it, you know, really big for the 3rd episode because the next one is like new territory. I haven't done past 3.
It's gonna be dope.
So episode 4 is gonna be in New York. Y'all gonna see it in New York. I'm not gonna say who the guest is yet. Kat, I just want to let you get the floor real quick. Anything that you want to say? Any announcements? Anything you got coming up? What can we look forward to from Kat?
Keep a lookout for me being a nail tech and finishing up because, yo, I don't half-ass my stuff. When I put in my creativity is coming in. That, and for any female out there that is interested in doing that kind of work, do it. Like, you're gonna make money. Don't feel ashamed. All that. You're beautiful. There's a guy for you.
Where for your social media, where can they reach you at?
Ass milk.
Ass milk. And from there, from the social media, you can get into the other things that we talked about. So if you want to see those other links, those are going to be on there as well. Kat, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Everybody clap it up real quick. And we're going to look into this camera right here. And then we're going to say Suave and Friends together. 1, 2, 3. Suave and Friends.